Hello, welcome back to the channel, and we got the Huskies today. Shout out the Purple Rain. This is the best team in the Pac-12's video. Yeah, you heard it here first. They're going to be winning the Pac-12 this season. That is my official prediction. I love Washington. Team usually known for their physicality and their toughness. They got a lot of offensive linemen, defensive linemen that are Samoan guys, big dudes, right? They bring that in there along with a pretty good offense, right? Really good skill position players. And I'm really excited to see what they do this year. Obviously, the Huskies are led off by quarterback Micheal Penix, who's undergone a career renaissance out in the great Northwest after having a very up and down season or two over at Indiana and Bloomington. And he's really thrived into one of the best quarterbacks and maybe even a Heisman contender this season, as crazy as it is. He led the country in pass yards last year, which no one would have thought was ever possible after you watched some of his last season over in Bloomington. But with going over to the offensive coordinator he had there at Washington, the one that was wanted by Alabama, but he declined to stay out there. They got a lot going on there, and I'm really excited to see what happens. Like we've done in all these other videos, we'll start with the recruiting. They were fourth in the conference last year. They had 21 commits, with 8 of those being 4 stars, 13 of those being 3 stars or lesser. They had a big corner, interior lineman, defensive lineman, and running back where they're 3 stars, 3 and 4 stars. And overall, just a lot of 3 stars or more. They have a wide receiver and a corner this year, and it's really going to be interesting to see how those guys impact. When you think of high level recruiting, you don't really think of Washington, but they've been able to use the portal very efficiently and get the guys exactly how they want in their scheme. They brought in Dylan Johnson, running back from Mississippi State, Josh Cuevas, tight end from Cal Poly. Jeremy Bernard from Michigan State, a receiver. Jabbar Muhammad, a corner from OSU. And then they brought in 2 more defensive players in Jaden Gorfoth. He's a linebacker from USC. And Zach Durfee from USF. I don't know what that is. It looks like it's a 2-year, or maybe a JUCO. And then finally, Daniel Ngata from Arizona State. While none of these guys are really making a much of an impact immediately outside of Jabbar Muhammad, I imagine he'll start, they bring back pretty much everyone from last season. They have their 2 stud receivers, Romeo Dunze, Jalen McMillan, and Jalen Polk. Those 3 are really good players out there. But obviously, it all starts and ends with Micheal Penix. If as good as he is going to be, that's going to be how good their season's going to go. He's totally, rebuilt himself. He was kind of seen as like a running quarterback that was like a gunslinging type thing. Now he's a bit more of a, spread it all over the field passer, run when he needs to. He won a few big games last year, including at Oregon. 6'3", 216. He's, probably going to be going in the first, maybe second round of the NFL draft. Left-handed quarterback, so it always looks weird watching him throw tape. Not for me, because I'm left-handed as well, but whenever you watch Tua, everyone's like, what's wrong with his form? It's weird. It's like, well, he's left-handed. So when you put it in reverse, it makes sense. 2 other guys are going to be getting drafted most likely in the first 2 days. Braylon Trice, 6'4", 267-pound edge, along with Zion Tulopa Fatoli. Talking about the Polynesians from earlier. Those 2 guys are their, they're 2 edge rushers, defensive end, hybrid outside linebacker type thing that we've seen kind of move away from the traditional defensive end, the 4-down lineman. It's kind of like, usually 2 or 3 down with one of the 2 running around wreaking havoc. So what does Washington need to do? They have a pretty favorable schedule in terms of avoiding most of the big games on the road. Their only real true road test is at USC, which I'll get in the schedule in a minute. But again, as long as you can continue on last year, you can rely on your seniors. You got a lot of seniors. Probably your best opportunity with this roster, clearly, to make a deep run. You're definitely gonna lose Penix and a lot of other guys. So while the rest of the conference will be getting worse, even though there are rumors that they may be joining the Big Ten in the future, this is a really good opportunity to take advantage of a loaded Pac-12. So you'll have a good enough resume to make the college football playoff and get a bye, as opposed to the next few seasons, despite there being still probably a bye. You could see the Pac-12 being that 5th team and not getting a home bye, or getting a home playoff game as opposed to a bye. So their schedule starts off at home against Boise State. Should be an easy win there. Boise's going to have a pretty shockingly down year. I know everyone usually thinks of Boise as one of those powerhouse teams, but not the case as much this season. Tulsa, they'll be playing. Tulsa's got crazy out-of-conference schedule, man. They have Washington and Oklahoma for sure. They'll be playing at home the next week. They travel to Michigan State, 5 o'clock kickoff there on Peacock only. As much as I want to talk about Michigan State and if they have a chance there, they do not. Micheal Penix will come back in and burn the woodshed down. Home against Cal, another no-problem game. At Arizona, could get tricky. Everything gets weird in the desert, but you should really be able to take advantage of that game. Let me see what the ESPN predictor even has that at. A Washington 75% win chance. Okay. Then they play at home against Oregon. So they beat Oregon on the road last season. It has Oregon as a slight favorite in this game. That's going to be obviously a big game. They'll get up for it. At this point, you're looking at them potentially being 6-0 going into Arizona State, which should be another win. Then they have at Stanford, should be another win. And then this is when the schedule really picks up. You've got at USC, and which is a tough, probably a loss, but who knows. Home against Utah. So again, your three biggest games, USC, Oregon, and Utah, you have two of them at home, which is good. And you avoid UCLA, so that's nice. Then after the Utah game, we'll see how Cam Rising is. By this point, we'll obviously know if he's okay or not. And then you are playing at Oregon State. Crazy things happen in Corvallis. Obviously, Oregon State, sneaky one of the better teams in the country. I have them probably in my top 25. They're projected to lose this game, Washington. But as we know, the Pac-12 eats itself alive. It'd be a great opportunity for them to lose. Probably, I would say they're 10-2 at this point. They're going to lose the USC and then another team in there. And then they play at home against Washington State in one of the better rivalries you don't really hear about as much, the Apple Cup. This has Washington State as a very big underdog. But I think that they'll be in the Pac-12 championship game, and I think they're going to win it. I'm not super high on USC. I want them to be good, right, because it makes sense for college football when they're better. Obviously, it's better for the sport, and they have the best player in college football, and it's not close. So that helps always as well, too. So let me down below what you think about Washington, if you think they can get it done this year. I definitely think they could. I personally, right now, they're on the fringe for me in the playoff because I think they're going to win the Pac-12, but they might have 2 losses, which is tough. Again, like I said in the Florida State video yesterday, if you can avenge one of the teams you lose to into the conference championship game, that kind of negates the loss, and it really kicks you up in the standings. We've kind of seen that before with the College Football Playoff Committee. So, yeah, I think the Huskies are back. Purple Rain, shout out Prince. And let me know if there's any Husky fans out there. Give me some howls in the comments. And, yeah, maybe see you in the Rose Bowl. Who knows? Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.